Alright guys, what is going on? DTC the Exporter here, and today we're going to be going over the entire zombies storyline all the way up to the giant zombies map with some speculation at the end, what they could have done, how they connected it, how exactly did the characters get there, and all stuff like that. So without further ado, we're going to go right into the story. Alright guys, so page 1, let's dive right in. Origins was about 1917 and 1918. The mystery box was discovered there. Maxis starts to hear voices, presumably Samantha, in his head. His future daughter hasn't had Samantha yet, from the excavation site. And then, with help from Tank, Nikolai, and Takio, Richthofen makes the Maxis drone so Maxis can see his future daughter. If you remember at the end of the Easter egg, they let the Maxis drone go up into the portal, and presumably he sees Samantha. Then later on, the war ends with the Treaty of Versailles. 21-ish years later, World War II emerges, and Maxis is returned to a new body. He then reunites Group 935 with goals to use 115 for human advancements, but with lack of funding, starts the Wonderwaffe development for money. He then constructs the MDT device. Maxis tries but fails to have any success. However, Richthofen and Dr. Suster succeed in teleport a walnut, so from MDT device to the mainframe. Maxis was displeased. Richthofen thinks he will conspire against them, though after more research, Richthofen wants to teleport himself. Richthofen ends up teleporting himself and ends up in the catacombs of the moon, where he finds the MPD device. After touching it, he begins to hear voices in his head, and then he was teleported away to Shangri-La, where he learns about Vril energy. He remained there for about 3 weeks and then was teleported back to Doris. Alright guys, so page 2, Richthofen returns. He and Suster build the Griffin Station on the moon, which is obviously where you are on the moon map, to study the MPD device, a gateway to the Aether. Richthofen continues his charade as Maxis' assistant and starts the Wonder Weapon project. Though Maxis is distracted by Sophia and is unable to see production, which infuriates Richthofen. Sophia was Maxis' assistant. Maxis focuses on teleportation, which leads to the creation of zombies through field human teleportation attempts. The zombies are seen as a good thing, though, and it forces Maxis to learn to control them. Meanwhile, the QED device is produced by Richthofen and the ray gun Mark II by Dr. Porter. The original ray gun was a prototype, and after the Germans seized the plans for it, they created Mark II. Richthofen travels to a Siberian outpost, which is called the Dead, to experiment with a serum to make the human mind responsive to commands from others. Prisoners of war, Takio, Nikolai, and some unknown Mexican are experimented on by Richthofen. The Mexican ends up dead, and Richthofen wants another test subject. Tank was sent in to rescue Dr. McCain, but was captured and used as Richthofen's new test subject. McCain parachutes away and dies at Shinonuma. McCain was a spy in Group 935, so he was compromised, which led the United States to send Tank over to help him, though he was found dead in Shinonuma. You can see him hanging at the top of the map. An unnamed group is sent to Nachtoten to take back the area. Alright guys, so page 3. Richthofen grows suspicious of the other members of the outpost, Yenna being one of them. Yenna goes on to create the scavenger sniper rifle. Richthofen continues to experiment on the crew, which leads them to their states in the first few maps. Nikolai can only function with alcohol, Tank has anger management problems, and Takio speaks with Japanese proverbs. Meanwhile, Dr. Groff and Suster develop the wave gun and then focus on the MPD device. After everyone soon returns to Doris, World War II has ended. Maxis is fixated on teleportation, and him and Richthofen decide to teleport Fluffy, Samantha's dog. Note, Maxis had Samantha while Richthofen was away. Fluffy dies in the event and is reanimated by 115 as the first Hellhound. She was pregnant at the time, which explains the groups of them that spawn in at once. Samantha arrives and is crying because of the loss of her dog. Richthofen sees this as a perfect time to betray Maxis, so he locks Maxis and Sam in the MPD device with the Hellhound, thinking they are dead. This is seen from the giant trailer when Richthofen says, "Goodbye, Dr. Maxis." When they were locked in the teleporter, Sam was sent to Griffin Station. Terrified due to the lack of oxygen, she ran into the MPD device and was locked in it with her bear, trapped in the Aether. Maxis was sent to Shangri-La, which is the first time he's ever seen it. Alright guys, on to page 4. Groff and Schuster notify Richthofen that they are still alive, and Richthofen orders them to find Maxis. They use the MPD to teleport him to Griffin Station, where he is allowed to speak to Samantha. Maxis tells Samantha to use the Aether's powers to take revenge on those who betrayed him. After Maxis is shot dead in front of Samantha, she commands the zombies to kill anyone involved with the group. Maxis' soul merges with the station's computer systems. Richthofen quickly awakens the test subjects, Nikolai, Tank, and Takio, who follow his orders due to the experiments, and head to Shinonuma. Here we start the first few zombie maps. Richthofen heads there for the supply of 115, which is the giant meteor that you can see on the map. In fear of being overrun, they head to Doris, the COD World at War map, where Richthofen hoped he could use the MDT to reach the Griffin Station. Thanks to the fear of being overrun, they used the Wonder Waffle inside the teleporter, which overpowered it, taking them to Kino der Toten. Now we're on to Black Ops 1 zombies. Before the heroes make it to Kino, Yuri was transferred from making the Gersh device to sending monkeys into space. Gersh himself was working on said device while his staff was working on the Thunder Gun. Yuri one day noticed a teddy bear in the Matryoshka dolls and wondered how a child got to the station. The child was Sam, who slowly drove Yuri insane. Yuri then finished the Gersh device and had Gersh activate it, which sucked Gersh in with some zombies, trapping him, and Yuri presumably died. After the characters leave Kino and make it to Ascension, they can hear Gersh, who tells them that the mechanism must be repaired, which is the Casimir mechanism. After completing the task, Gersh is freed and then thanks us. Soon after, Samantha says, "Come find me." Samantha is noted to still be in the Aether where Gersh was trapped. Gersh could still be alive. At the same time, the Pentagon is overrun by zombies. The four discover a secret lab under the Pentagon, which contained the USA's attempt at recreating Group 935's technology. Slowly, the characters begin to regain their memory before being experimented on by Richthofen. Sometime after this, George Romero stumbles upon Group 935's research. The zombies invade their set in Call of the Dead, the same place that Richthofen had visited, and only the four remain. The crew get teleported there in a locked room due to the Casimir mechanism overloading the MDT device again. Alright, so on page 6, yelling through the locked door, they ask the movie stars to get the goldenrod, which is the Vril generator. Richthofen rewards them by giving them the Wonder Waffle to help them fight zombies. The crew then teleports to Shangri-La, where they can teleport back in time to find Brock and Gary, two explorers who sought to get proof that Agartha exists. They find out that the temple was built by people using modern technology, Richthofen and his crew, and were later trapped in a loop themselves. By helping them, the crew creates the focusing stone. The stone, though, keeps Brock and Gary stuck. Richthofen has said he has what he needs to control the zombies. They travel to Area 51, which has already been overrun by the zombies, to teleport to Griffin Station using both the focusing stone and the Vril generator. Combined, Richthofen switches bodies with Samantha, who is still stuck in the MPD device, and he is now in control of the zombies. At this time, Maxis was revealed to be still alive in the computer systems. He tells the others and Sam, in Richthofen's body, to help him fire 3 missiles to Earth. Maxis' calculations turned out to be wrong, which led them to the catastrophic destruction of Earth. Maxis laughs, thinking it worked while he wasn't technically alive to know what happened. Note, at the same time, a group of scientists went to investigate a Nevada test site, which turned out overrun by zombies. Only one survived, being Marlton Johnson. He was a Black Ops 2 character from Transit. This was the map Nuketown Zombies, of course. The missiles obviously destroyed most of the Earth, although it blew Area 51 off the face of it, leaving the crew plus Samantha stuck between Area 51 and the moon. Maxis realizes what happens and starts contacting survivors to help him achieve global polarization, to open the Aether where he could overpower Richthofen. Secretly, though, some of the survivors found out that Maxis was going to open a gateway to Agartha, which would destroy the Earth. They then started destroying all technology to stop him, hence bad communication on the first few maps. if you guys went over to the television in some of the maps, you would actually hear the survivors' backlogs. Richthofen was not satisfied with limited control over the undead, so he wanted to activate the towers in his favor, and also so he could mend the rift, which is the Agartha gateway, to dam Samantha's soul. Marlton, Misty, and Russman and Stuhlinger meet up with their robotic bus at the bus depot, where Maxis contacts them. Since Stuhlinger previously ate zombie flesh, he can hear Richthofen, who says to help him against Maxis. Richthofen later teleports the crew to Die-Rise, regardless of who they help out, where they must choose who to help out again. Once they help out the side they want, they escape and travel to the rift, the buried location. In Buried, the four are asked to activate the last tower. Depending on who they picked, the outcome is similar, both resulting in Earth being ruined and not fixed. If the players follow Maxis, a portal to the Aether will be opened and allow Maxis to control the zombies. He damned Richthofen to walk the Earth as a zombie, and then opened the portal to Agartha to be reunited with Samantha. If the players follow Richthofen, the rift becomes mended and Samantha's soul is damned to Agartha. Richthofen then makes Maxis cease to exist and uses Earth as his personal playground. Both Germans did not realize that Samantha had somehow traveled back in time to 1917 or 18, the Origins map, in Agartha, starting the cycle all over again. She's currently stuck in an infinite loop. Alright guys, now on the last page, this is just speculation, what I think could have possibly happened. So basically, after completing the Origins Easter egg, Samantha tells them what happened in the alternate futures. Tank, Nikolai, and Takeo escape from Richthofen and head to the Giant, which is Der Reese. They confront Richthofen that is there. They were probably taken by Samantha, I think, who probably hates Richthofen, who does hate Richthofen, so she obviously wouldn't take him. However, when Richthofen encountered Agartha, he probably regained memory of what happens, and then teleports to the place where he is seen killing himself in the Giant trailer. Nikolai, Tank, and Takeo wish to awaken the test subjects, wishes themselves after being experimented on. They are presumably at Verrückt, possibly the Giant/Verrückt Easter egg crossover. Not 100% sure how that would work out. They did say they weren't going to be remaking any other maps, but it doesn't mean that Verrückt couldn't be in the Giant map. We don't really know too much about Verrückt, but that's when we first saw the characters, so it's presumably speaking that they were stored at Verrückt, because they are in a stasis sort of thing at the moment. Alright guys, so there you have it, the latest zombie storyline all the way up to the Giant. That was a mouthful. It really took a long time to write and work up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We will bring you the latest zombie content right as it comes out first on the DTZ.